Now, today's quick tip is not a Hollywood secret to bring more power and intensity to your performance when you really need it. It's subtle, but effective. Easy to understand, but not always easy to do. Luckily, I have some workarounds. Hi, I'm Scott. You're watching Inside Musicals, the channel for all things musical theatre. Now, if you've ever performed, you'll know that acting is a discipline. We're paring back gesture and manner to its essentials to communicate as concisely as possible. And that's why naturalistic isn't always the best acting choice. Sometimes it's too busy, too random. That's where this technique comes into its own. It's focused, it's stylized, niche even. And typically it's a high-end screen acting technique that we see from the likes of Tom Cruise, Glenn Close, among others. And when it's combined with the truthfulness of the scene, it reads super clearly. Now, as soon as I say what it is, you can say, oh, no, that's too easy. There must be some kind of trick to it. And there kind of is, but we'll circle back to that. But here's the tip. In moments of high stakes or emotional intensity, don't blink. See, I told you it was simple, and there is more to it than that. But let me prove it to you. Let me replay the opening of this video where I didn't blink. Now, today's quick tip is not a Hollywood secret to bring more power and intensity to your performance when you really need it. It's subtle, but effective. Easy to understand, but not always easy to do. Luckily, I have some workarounds. Not exactly high stakes. But let me do it again, this time allowing myself to blink, and notice how it feels less direct, less focused, less intense. Now, today's quick tip is not a Hollywood secret to bring more power and intensity to your performance. It's subtle, but effective. Easy to understand, but not always so easy to do. So just imagine what a difference it might make in a high-intensity scene. But here's the hard part. This is why it's not so easy. Have you ever tried not blinking for minutes on end, under lights, in makeup, with dust and air, and the pressure's on in front of a camera and a crew? It's hard, and it hurts, and takes enormous self-discipline. So let's backtrack to why it works and where it came from, and then I'll give you 4 solutions to make it just that little bit easier. Now, from an acting perspective, we can think of this technique as a psych-out. The first one to blink loses. Blinking can denote vulnerability, which has its place, but in a high-intensity scene, blinking can read as backing down. It breaks that electricity of an emotional connection and a visual connection. But what it shouldn't be is just a wide-open, hard stare, which just looks crazy. We want it to look natural and to keep the eyes alive. In film, there are 2 practical reasons for this tradition. The first is, when your face is projected 2 stories tall on a cinema screen, a blink is substantial. It can be startling and jarring for an audience. So that's key number 1. The closer the shot, the less we should blink. The second reason is for editing. Now, the editor wants to cut between shots at the right emotional beat of the scene. If you're blinking in one shot and your eyes are open in the other, they don't match. So they can't use that moment. Or they want to linger on your face while something else happens in the scene. But if you blink and break the moment, again, it limits their options. So that's the second key. The greater the intensity of the scene, the more important it is not to blink. So how do we overcome this impulse to blink? Because the eyes are very sensitive. As soon as they feel anything, instinct takes over. The first step is to become conscious of it. So try this exercise. Keep your eyes open till you recognize the sensation that makes you want to blink. Because once we recognize it, we can anticipate it and it doesn't take us by surprise. Then we can override it. But at a certain point, it's going to feel excruciating. So here are 4 ways to do the job of a blink, ease that sensation, but without blinking. The first is the squinch. That's squinting with the under eye muscles rather than the outside ones. Very Tom Cruise. And it's enough to lubricate the eyes. Now, today's quick tip is not a Hollywood secret to bring more power and intensity to your performance. Second is the side eye. That's where we move the head but keep the eyes stationary. Once again, it's enough to move the eyelids over the eyeball to relieve the sensation, but without breaking eye contact. It's easy to understand, but not always easy to do. Other variations are, yeah, come here, say that to my face. Is that what you're wearing? Or even the curious dog. The third is the escape hatch, which is moving the eyes but keeping the head stationary. You could be looking for the escape hatch, the henchman, the gun, the prize. Your performance when you really need it. It's subtle but effective. So even though your eyes are moving, as long as it's relevant to the scene and the audience is aware of it, it still feels like you're connected to the scene. The fourth is lubricating eye drops. Should I have led with that? Now, each one of these might only buy you a few more seconds at a time before you feel the need to blink, but together, they might get you through a whole scene. And if your eyes are looking bloodshot, close your eyes between takes to refresh them, or get some soothing eye drops. Now, there is one more way to use this technique. That's whenever we need to cry in a scene, or to garner sympathy for a significant other. And look, if you want to manipulate your loved ones, I'm not here to judge. I mean, I will, but I'll judge your performance, not your morality. Now, whenever we keep our eyes open for a sustained period, chances are they'll start to water, so we can use that. To the outside, it looks like tears. Our eyes staying open looks like stoicism. We can call it a character choice, an acting choice. And it's something you can start well ahead of the director calling action. And once the tears have built up, when you do want the tear to fall, that's when you blink or tilt forward slightly. If you want to hold the tear back, obviously don't blink and tilt your head back until you're ready. And look, all the cool kids are doing it. Watch any film with Jodie Foster, Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt, Meryl Streep. Because now you know about it, you'll notice it. So, have you heard of this technique before? Have you tried it? Do you have any refinements of your own? Let me know in the comments. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I do love you. Now get out there. You're brilliant. I have some workarounds. Bugger, blinked. I have a few workarounds. Once again, without blinking. Did I blink? I might have blunk, blinked. Power and intensity to your performance. Bugger, blinked. We can. Now I'm blinking. Now I've got something in my eye. Now I've got something in my eye. Now go.